Hi everyone. Wingtips or no wingtips? That is the question. So the question that's been going about is do you fly with the wingtips on or do you fly with them off? Personally, I like them on, but the reasons being, some people are saying that with the wingtips on, it's a bit heavier in roll. Some are saying it could be slower or faster with or without. I'm not quite sure which. And others are saying that it actually makes your landing easier when you're coming in on a crosswind. So what we're going to do, we're going to take off with the wingtips on. We're going to climb up to about 1500 feet. We're going to level off and set the speed at 80 miles an hour. And then once that's set, we're going to leave it alone. We're then going to do some turns. I mean, I'm quite familiar with how this aircraft handles with the wingtips on. But I'll do some anyway, just to re-familiarise myself. I'll then do a low pass down the runway and see what yaw we've got. And then we'll come around again and we'll do a landing. And we'll see if it all squares itself up and goes straight down the runway. For the final moment like it normally does. I'll then come in, I'll take the winglets off, we'll go straight out again, we won't touch the speed trim, we'll get up to 1500 feet, we'll level off, we'll go hands off and see if the speed's altered. I'm not sure which way it's going to go or if anything at all. We'll put some turns in. We'll see if it's any lighter in the roll. We'll then come in for a low pass again and we'll check out to see what yaw we've got, and then we'll come around for a landing and we'll see if it's any different with it landing. So we'll see how all that goes. Okay, so straight out onto the runway. Default traffic, Golf Golf Golf, Tango Romeo, lining up, runway 22 for immediate departure. Here we go. Do a left turn and get away from the circuit to the airfield. We'll climb up to about 1500 feet. Okay, so we've set the trim for 80 miles an hour, hands off. Bringing the power down, we're still climbing at the minute. bumpy. Struggling getting level at 80 mile an hour. There you go. Nearly there. A little bit more. Just steady her up a bit. Find a few bumps just when you don't want them. There you go, 80 mile an hour. Right, we'll leave that alone then. Right, just yeah, we're there. Happy with that. Okay, so just put a couple of turns in. I'm well aware of how this aircraft handles with the wingtips on. Just because we're doing a test, just familiarise myself, remind myself what it feels like, because the air's always different. Okay, that'll do. Right, let's get back to the airfield. We'll come overhead and then we'll descend and do a low pass down. Yeah, we're still at 80 mile an hour. D-foot traffic. Golf Tango Romeo in the overhead, descending dead side, woodway 22, D-foot. Crosswind. D-foot traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, downwind 22 for a low pass. Base. Traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, final 2-2. So we're at 300 feet, I'm looking straight down the runway, and you can see the nose of the aircraft slightly looking right of the centre line. So that is showing the crosswind. And as we come down lower, you'll notice that the aircraft is looking straight down pretty much straight down the runway. It's getting buffeted around slightly. We're now in ground effect. We're only 6 foot off the runway, and you can see the aircraft is looking straight down the centre line, even with the crosswind that we've got. And that's with the wingtips. Right, let's get back up again, and we'll come in for a landing. Climbing turn to the left. 15th up traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, downwind, 22 to land. 15th up. Okay, turning base, coming off the power, descending. Deanth up traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, final 22 to land. There we are again, 300 feet. You can see the nose of the aircraft. Slightly looking right at the centre line. Get down nice and low, getting ground effect. See, my speed is still sort of 75, 80. We're in ground effect. Nose of the aircraft are looking straight down the runway with the wingtips on. Just playing with it now. And there we're down. Lovely landing. Lovely landing with a fairly stiff crosswind coming in. Right, let's get ourselves back and get these wingtips took off. Okay, so the wingtips are now off. Quick job, it's just 2 pins and they come straight off. There we go. Right, let's get back in the aircraft and see what difference it makes. Here we go then, take 2. No winglets. Deanth up traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, lining up runway 22 for immediate departure. Deanth up. So just on climb out, can't really tell any difference at the minute. All feels pretty much the same. Climb and turn to the left, get away from the circuit. So again, we're going to go up to about 1500 feet. And then we're going to level off and we'll check the speed. And remember, I've not touched the trim. So it should be set at 80 mile an hour. And we'll see what difference it makes without the winglets on. It's about 1500 feet, it's coming off the power. Level it up. I'm going to find a bit of smooth air really so that we can have a like for like comparison. Well, I have to say, putting some turns in there, it actually feels a bit lighter. Way. Yeah, it's lighter. It's lighter in the turn, or in the roll, as they say. That is a difference. Whether that's caused by the wingtips actually aiding stability, or whether it's the extra weight on each tip, I don't know, but it's definitely lighter in the roll. So let's have a look at the speed. Hands off. We're slower, not by much. We are definitely 2 or 3 mile an hour slower without the wingtips. Again. Yeah, we're definitely 2 or 3 mile an hour slower. Back over the airfield. Deanthorpe traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, overhead and descending dead side for runway 22 Deanthorpe. Should look at it again, yeah. Just a little bit slower. Right, let's come off the power and make that descent. crosswind. Deanthorpe traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, downwind 22 for a low pass, Deanthorpe. Base, coming off the power. Deanthorpe traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, final 2-2 for a low pass. So there we are at 300 feet. So I'm looking down the centre line. The nose of the aircraft is still slightly over to the right, indicating the crosswind. It's 200 feet. Let's get it down into ground effect. So I would say that this the nose of the aircraft is still looking slightly right. Okay, let's get back up. Around for a landing. Deanthorpe traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, downwind 22 to land, Deanthorpe. So in my opinion, on that low pass, I think it's it's definitely lighter on the controls, but I would say it's less stable close to the ground in ground effect. Still at just under 80 mile an hour, hands off. Turning base, coming off the power. Deanthorpe traffic, Golf Tango Romeo, final 2-2 to land. 300 foot. The aircraft's not quite looking down the centre line, slightly to the right, indicating the crosswind. Getting down nice and low, getting ground effect. Note my speed, still between 75 and 80. Yeah, I think we're pretty much looking down the centre line now, to be fair. Definitely lighter on the controls. Time to put it on the ground. Nice landing again. Okay, let's just get parked up then, and then we'll summarise what we've found. So that's that, the flight's done. In all honesty, in my opinion, the only difference, well, two differences to be honest. It's definitely lighter in the roll. I'd say it's slower without the wingtips by about 2 miles an hour. So I don't see the point if you're doing it for speed. Coming in on the landing, we've got a similar amount of yaw going on at sort of 300 feet. But then as we come down into ground effect, whereas with the winglets on, the aircraft does straighten itself up with a crosswind. But without the winglets, I think there's a little bit more yaw. But if you're getting chucked about, it is a bit lighter on the controls. So personally, I will be putting the winglets back on. That was always going to happen because I've got my strobe lights and my nav lights on the wingtips, and I also think it looks quite good. So there you go, that's my findings. It is my opinion. If anybody thinks different, let me know. It'd be interesting to chat about it, but that's how I find it. Thanks for watching. Give us a like if you enjoyed, and give us a subscribe if you've not already. Thank you. Ta-da.